Hey landlords, are you screening a rental application and trying to figure out the best way to make sure they can afford to live in your home? Well, in today's video, what we're going to do is talk about the income verification and some of the standard documents that we can use to make sure we're getting the best information possible to make sure that they can in fact afford to live in our home and to pay rent and be hopefully an amazing tenant. So, that is going to be the topic of today's video, and of course if you are interested in learning more about the screening process, let me know in the comments below. We have just released a free landlord workshop on the screening process called Screening for Success, and we are giving that out to our viewers and our audience for free. Just leave comments below and I will shoot a link over to that. It is about an hour long, but it's a great resource. We go through all the steps of the screening process, take a deep dive into them, show the documents we use to accomplish that, the kind of conversations we have, and really what the whole process looks like. So by the time you're done with this, you should have no problems whatsoever screening your rental application. So, oh yeah, by the way, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Jason with Landlord Launch, home of the $9 landlord, and what we do is we help landlords self-manage their property. We do this through providing resources, providing content like today's videos, providing forms and documents, and basically anything that we can do to try to help landlords like yourself manage their rental property. So having said that, let's go on and jump into today's topic, which is going to be the forms or the different things that we can do to verify income. So first and foremost, the most obvious one is the pay stub. And I like the pay stub. Usually as part of my application process on my screening criteria, what I'll do is I'll say, please provide the most current pay stub and one other, within a month or two, hopefully, because there's a few things I'm trying to establish. Is one, how much are they making? Two, how is that coming? Is it hourly? Is it salary? How are they getting paid? Is it weekly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly? And whatever that may be. Are there tips involved? Are there commissions? Whatever that is. What is the frequency of those payouts? And the pay stub usually has all of that stuff in there. Plus, it has a year-to-date on there, so that one, it also verifies you can back into it, see how long they've actually been there. A lot of pay stubs will just say start date too. But the pay stub should have everything that you need to glean the information to make the calculations to determine whether or not that they are qualified. Now, not everybody will have pay stubs. Not everybody will have access to pay stubs. They should be able to get them, but that's not always the case. Maybe somebody is relocating and they haven't started yet, but they have secured a job and they have a start date. So in this case, use an offer letter, especially if it has enough information, what the annual salary is or what the hourly rate is, how many hours they're expected to pay. If you need more information, you can always call in and do an employment verification. But the employment offer letter is absolutely another form that you can use to make those calculations to make sure that they will in fact have enough money to pay rent. The next form, which you can use in conjunction with an offer letter if it doesn't have enough information, is the employment verification form. Now, what I like about the employment verification form is it has all the pieces of information on there. It forces you to ask all the information you need to make the calculations, to get the stuff you need to make the proper calculations. Now, some places will allow you to fax that in and the supervisor or HR will fill that out. What I personally like to try to do is make a call first, and I don't like to talk with their direct supervisor because sometimes that may be a friend or somebody that knows them and they're trying to help them out. What I try to like to do is get to some sort of like HR or manager or something along those lines if they're willing to talk to me. Not all of them will. But if I can do it verbally, I'll give it a shot. But then I'll take the form itself, and as I'm asking the questions, I'll complete the form and then find out who I'm talking to. And that way I'm having a verbal verification, but I'm documenting on a piece of paper so that I have something for the file and something to fall back on later when I'm doing my calculations. So that's one way you can do it. And again, some of them are going to force you to fax in. Some of them won't even actually complete it. Some of them will use a service like 1-800-WORK number or whatever. There's lots of those services out there. I'm not wild about those only because a a lot of times they'll force you to pay for the verification itself. So I'm not wild about those, but there's a lot of the larger companies, especially that like the big corporate, like we'll just say Bank of America's of the world, that you're not gonna get an income employment verification out of them in that way. So pay stubs are always the best. If I have to, I will fall back on employment offer letters, employment verification forms. But if I can get pay stubs, that's usually the way to go. So those are the top 3 forms that I like to use in terms of documentation to collect on the rental application, so that I can guarantee that they make enough money to meet my minimum income criteria. And of course, you're going to want the same thing for all adults in the household, because you're going to want to look at the household income itself. Okay, so that is what I have on the income verification side of things. If you have any questions, of course, leave comments below. And once again, if you are interested in that screening workshop, Screening for Success, let me know in the comments below, and I will send you access to that as well, 100% for free. Other than that, we'll wrap up for today. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Jason with the Landlord Launch, and we will see you next time.